Music producers, another great topic that we've talked about before, but we're going to talk about it in a whole nother light today. Was posed on CurtisKingBeats.com/Curtspiration. Please go there if you have any questions that you want to see me cover in these videos. But the question was basically, look, as a music producer, what do I do when I start to lose my passion? Let's talk about it. Music producers, we all come to a point where we lose our passion, where, either we get a few setbacks, either we are looking at our production business and we're saying, man, like I've been doing this for so long. And even when you start generating income, it's not like our very beginner issues that we've had. It's like stuff that, maybe somebody passes away in our life and it affects our overall energy. It affects the way we make beats. Maybe we've had a group situation where, we left the group, or just anything can happen in life. And that translates over to the things that we love, including, unfortunately, our music. So when you get in a rut, when you get in a situation, I guess the only way that I should really address this first is, what have I done when I lost the passion? When did Curtis King lose the passion? Curtis King lost the passion about 3 years ago when I was sitting in my studio and I was making beats, and it just felt like this was a job. It felt like I couldn't even enjoy making music because I was too busy making Jay-Z type beat, Lil Wayne type beat, and a bunch of, I love those artists, but there's a bunch of other new artists that I wasn't really digging the music, but I felt like I had to listen to the music in order to stay relevant, in order to stay within the business, and it was just going about it all the wrong way. I was abandoning the things that made me happy. Sample producing made me happy. Really making hip hop beats made me happy. But I knew that, I could not survive within the market unless I was making sort of these stripped down trap beats. And so I learned how to make them. But I really fell into a place where it was just like I was losing my passion because, what drove me initially was expressing the sounds that were inside. And I'm going to sound really hustle and flow right now when I say this, but expressing what I felt inside. It was feeling it right. You ever had a beat inside your head and you trying to... Shout out to Terrence Howard. But I had the sound and I wanted to just get these feelings and these emotions. Like I would go to work, back in the day, and I would have, like, my boss would say something crazy to me and it would make me I'll be so angry the rest of the day, and I get home and make the craziest drum loop that I ever made, put these crazy sounds over it, and then after I'm done, I felt like, all right, I can relax now. I feel good. I got that aggression out. So that's why it became a passion for me, because of the means of expression and what it provided me. So as I got older, even as I started to find success, I lost my passion not when I was broke, not when I couldn't afford to do things. I lost my passion when I actually started generating income, and it became, you have to do this in order to make your money. So how did I flip this situation around? The first thing I did, I revisited my old beats. And I tried to put myself in a place. The way I look at my beats sometimes, like I listen to beats and it's almost like looking through a photo album. I listen to a beat. You ever had a time when you listen to the beat and you're like, damn, I remember when I made this beat. That was that day that I got sick as a dog because I ate 4 pieces of pizza and then I drank orange juice at the same time, and I got sick. It was crazy, man, but I made that beat like right before I got sick. Whatever the story was, you remember these things because they're like pieces of a photo album. They're pictures in a photo album. And so I had to go back to the basics. I had to go back to the days where it was just MTV Generator and a PlayStation. I returned back to those days and I started remembering the things that made me happy. What made me happy was really just sitting there and not having any rules on the music. And that's what I did. I said, I don't care if my business suffers for a few weeks. For my soul, for my happiness, I gotta get this music out of my system. And when I did that, what happened was it gave me so much energy, so much vitality that it transferred over to the beats that are more so beats for business. Because, we'll talk about that in another video, but there are beats that you make that are expressions of yourself. And then there are beats that are just beats for business, especially when you're in this particular leasing beat business. You are not making beats for yourself anymore. You're making beats for a general audience, not even a general audience, for a very specific demographic and a very niche demographic that needs you to provide what you're excellent at, right? I lost the passion. I found a passion when I went back to the basics. Once I went back to the basics, I started going back and sort of emulating some of the things that I did before. Maybe emulating, taking old keyboards that I fell in love with, old VSTs, adding those to my beats and kind of giving them some of the new flavor and the new intelligence that I've gained in the process. And then I had fun. I jumped out. I did collaborations with people that I hadn't did collaborations with in years. It brought back old feelings. You know, I went back to my old city. I mean, there was things that I did that they weren't all intentional, but I realized these things brought me back to the heart of why I started, the heart of why I began. And anytime that you have a problem with passion, you have a problem with why. You have a problem identifying the why you're doing something. You become less passionate about it when you're asking yourself, why the hell am I even doing this? What's the purpose? What's the point? Who cares? Those questions are asked when you forget your all-important why. So remind yourself what the why is. What is the why for you making beats? Is the why that you're making beats to get yourself out of a particular area that you're living in, a particular dangerous area, or, you know, a neighborhood that not a lot of people make it out of? Is that your why? You know, if that's your why and it's not driving you anymore, re-identify, restructure that why. Start to make that why something that is super, super passionate and just boils your blood. Maybe it's to help, buy your mom her first home. So you're saying to yourself, look, I'm going to build this leasing business until I'm able to not only afford that house, but pay that house off. And she can just sit pretty sitting up there. If that vision strikes enough out of you, your passion will increase. Another thing, too. You got to think about things that throughout your day are draining your energy. This is number one for me, especially, and I know a lot of producers that produce at home can relate to this. But when you wake up, most of us wake up and in the morning, in the breakfast, because breakfast is so important, we pig out, right? We pig out, we get a big breakfast and we kind of feel like sleeping, but we don't. Thankfully, so we get to work or maybe we go to the gym, whatever the case may be. You get that boost of energy finally. It becomes lunchtime. Lunchtime comes around and you stuff yourself again because you were hungry from the time that passed through that. You stuff yourself again and then you start to drag from 12 to about 3 p.m. You get your little 15-minute break maybe at work or at school. And then as the day goes on and you finally get home, your energy, what used to be at an 80% to 90% is now sitting about 20 to 40%. Think of it like a cell phone battery. Now you're sitting between 20 and 40% trying to figure out why don't I have the energy? It's not your passion, it's your energy. What happened throughout the day? Well, when you had that big breakfast, your body went into overdrive to digest that food. You're already putting yourself at a strain. That's what the whole, the itis. People talk about the itis. You eat a whole lot of food and you feel like going to sleep. That's your body overworking itself and saying, look, I got to put your ass to sleep because you want to keep stuffing me with food. You're not letting me digest what I already got in here. So then your body naturally slows down to do that. So sometimes it's not just your music. Sometimes it's not because you're uninspired. It's because when you have energy, what I learned is when you have energy, you'll do anything that you need to do. Doesn't matter what's in front of you. 2 days ago, I felt myself kind of dragging and I just started guzzling water. I started drinking water because I know that water has a lot of the foundation of energy. I started drinking water. Started eating more greens. And I noticed out of nowhere, I was like, yo, this boosted energy is wonderful. I'm about to respond to 70 comments on YouTube. And a lot of y'all saw me come through and respond to comments. Why? Because those times where I said, I don't have the energy, I don't have the patience, I don't have the time. When you're energetic, you don't care about all that stuff. You just want to get it done. So I think the problem beyond all the other creative issues that we have is your energy levels. And I think that if you're finding that your passion is losing, figure out what your why is, re-identify your why, rebrand your why, change your why around. But figure out what that why is, return to the basics, return back to the city you came from, work with the people you used to work with, have stories, just really get out the house and then making sure that, you're taking care of your health as well. You're getting food and, you're not stuffing yourself with stuff that's just going to drain you and drain you and drain you before you even give yourself an opportunity to even do something great that day. When you're losing your passion, it's not because you're not supposed to be doing this. I don't believe that. I believe that you were given you were given this vision and you were also burdened with the responsibility of seeing it through. If you believe that as well, keep going. Once again, it's another Curtspiration. Doodle, if you need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. We have discontinued the Patreon because we finally got our last goal, as you've been hearing all week long. We are focused now on the Curtis King Beats producer and rapper community. You are all welcome. I don't mean to keep pointing at you, I'm sorry. But you are all welcome. Please go to curtiskingbeats.com/membership and be a part of a very exclusive groups of rappers and producers who know what they're talking about. They're entrepreneurs, they're rappreneurs and producer-neurs who would love to connect with you. curtiskingbeats.com/membership. And coming back to the topic at hand, please share with your producer peers what you do when you lose your passion. I'm sure that you have tools and things that you do that make you feel, more passionate about it again. Please share it, because I probably could benefit from it as well. In this life, you would not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you.
When I listen to you, it's a liability, cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.